What's up, y'all? I'm Spade, and this is my review of Deadpool and Wolverine, directed by Sean Levy, 2024. So yeah, I made it out to see this movie in the theater. It's been a minute since I've seen a Marvel movie in the theaters. You know, if you've been following me or if you watch my videos, I've been kind of critical about the MCU as of late. But I gotta say, I was very pleasantly surprised by this one. Before we go any further, I'm gonna say this is gonna be a spoiler-filled review. It's hard to talk about this movie without giving away something. So if you haven't seen it yet, you wanna go in fresh, you don't want nothing spoiled, get the hell out of here. But yeah, I gotta say, Disney, Marvel, the MCU, they've been dropping the ball a lot lately, so I was worried about this one. But it was firing on all cylinders, and I think it was like a great send-off to the Fox X-Men universe. And to be honest, while watching this movie, going into this movie, I didn't really consider that. But during the end credits, there was a reel of behind-the-scenes footage from all the different X-Men movies. And it really felt to me like they were closing the chapter on that part of the Marvel universe. Speaking objectively, the acting was pretty good, humor was good, it wasn't too cringy, there were a couple cringe moments. The one thing in this movie where it had to deliver no excuses was the action. It's rated R, I needed no compromises, it had to be bloody, it had to be dope, there had to be lots of gore, there had to be samurai swords, we got Wolverine with the claws out stabbing people, tons of cameos, tons of great fights, and this was a really funny movie. They did overdo it sometimes with a couple aspects of the humor, but I personally didn't think it got to the point where it was annoying or the jokes weren't hitting. And I gotta say, I love the Chris Evans cameo, though I kind of called it before it got revealed in the movie. And I thought that the Gambit cameo was sick. I thought it was funny. And I thought that Channing Tatum did a great job with his voice, actually. I also thought it was pretty funny how he said he was born in the void because there was like a Gambit movie in development for like forever and it never came out. So that was pretty jokes. There was a ton of fourth wall breaks, little hints to the audience, winks to the audience. The biggest thing for me was Deadpool saying, yeah, you know, the multiverse arc kind of sucked there and it's not really doing it, which I think a lot of us who've been critical of the MCU lately have been saying. I personally feel a little vindicated now because a lot of people came after a lot of us and said, oh, you're just negative or you're just being like an angry nerd. When the true matter of the case is, I think there was just a lot of forced messaging nobody asked for, out of left field, minor league characters that nobody cared about, and the story just wasn't progressing. It wasn't going anywhere. At least with this movie, the story went somewhere, they accomplished a goal, and it felt like a tied up ending at the end. It wasn't the most amazing story, it didn't have a crazy revelation, but they did a good job with it. And it said a lot without saying a lot. And let me get into this one here. So this is where a lot of the implications to the greater MCU come in. And to be very honest with you, I think this dealt more with the Fox universe than it does with the actual Disney MCU. By having all these characters in the void kind of explains what happens to that universe. Obviously, the audience is going to have questions because all of that stuff is in the garbage now. So canonically, and I don't know, it's kind of cool. I don't know really how I feel about this, but canonically, you could say that all those movies did exist in another universe, but now they've got thrown into the void. And this is a story point that carries off of what happened in Loki. So it is cool that it ties everything in. And I feel like we're seeing through the eyes of Deadpool, him just shutting the door on all these characters. I mean, you see the Fantastic Four, we see characters from the old X-Men, we see Elektra, we don't see Daredevil, but there's a funny joke about him dying and her not caring about it, which I thought was pretty jokes. And I thought the use of Cassandra Nova, Charles Xavier's sister, was a pretty clever way of explaining, you know, what was going on and how they were using the void and, you know, just kind of tying that into the story of the movie. Because again, the movie's extremely meta and I feel it's more of a conversation with the audience than it is an actual movie with a story that has implications going forward. I'm also glad that it doesn't ruin the memory of Logan, which is the more serious movie that was, you know, the ending to the X-Men universe before this came out. I was worried about this being pretty silly and, using Logan and Wolverine as a joke, where his character in those movies was the best character, the best thing about those movies, if you ask me. And even though some of the Origins movies and some of those movies were pretty shitty, his character had a great arc and it ended on an amazing note. Thought it was a pretty clever joke in the movie to literally desecrate the grave of Logan and use him to beat up all the TVA guys. But yeah, other than that, the story wasn't anything to write home about. Again, it was cool how they connected everything. I think that's pretty clever. The acting was good. You could tell all the actors were having a lot of fun with what they were doing. Soundtrack, I feel, was nothing really anything to write home about. Nothing I remember, to be honest. The CGI actually looked good. Not rushed. It delivered on the action and was just overall a lot of fun. But yo, I do gotta say, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, both of them carried this whole movie. Both of them had it on their backs. It all hinged on their performances. I'm glad it wasn't too stupid. I'm glad that Hugh Jackman was there to serve as a balance to Ryan Reynolds' humor. They complemented each other well, and it was done right. It wasn't corny, and it wasn't badly written. This movie also unexpectedly had a lot of heart, and those moments were mainly with Wolverine. One thing I do gotta say, though, is that I thought that the mask was kind of a miss. It was cool to see Wolverine fully decked out with the mask on, with the cowl on, but it did look sort of weird to me. I don't know. Half his face was like CGI, half his face wasn't. It looked like he couldn't see properly out of the mask, just the expression on his face. And I really did like seeing X-23 come back and reprise her role. I thought that was really cool, and her scene with Wolverine was one of the more emotionally heavy scenes. And I gotta give it up to her, she delivered. I do gotta say, there was a lot of humor in this movie, and usually I'm not one for the stupid jokes, but I do think that they really did balance it out with the action. We got very satisfying action, we got great fights, and that's what really matters to me. You could have the stupid jokes, you could have all the dumb stuff you want, but give us the action, give us the dope moments that the fans have been waiting for. So my rating for Deadpool and Wolverine is 8 out of 10. Let me know what you thought about the movie in the comments below. Did you think it was a good send-off for the Fox X-Men universe? What do you think is coming up for the mainline MCU? I'm going to get into that in a second. But yeah, just, it's been a minute since I dropped a video, so thank you for watching this far if you're still watching. So yo, what did you think about Deadpool and Wolverine? Let me know in the comments below. Please don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you're not subscribed. It really helps. And yeah, man, so yo, let's talk about the MCU going forward. I hope they keep on this trajectory. I hope we get good action movies going forward. Trailer for Captain America, New World Order, I don't know. I'm on the fence about that one. I don't know if I'm gonna go to the theater and watch it, but if y'all want a review, let me know and I'll go see it early so I can give y'all a review. It looks like it's gonna be a cool action spy, espionage thriller like The Winter Soldier. It has hints of that, but I also see like some bad CGI and some questionable choices. So I'm kind of worried. The last little bit of MCU movies I wasn't too impressed by. The best ones, I think, being Spider-Man No Way Home and Black Panther 2. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. To be honest, if he was still alive, I think he would be the one most appropriate to be leading the MCU at this point. Dude was charismatic, character was cool as hell, and they had so much potential to explore with him. Really does suck that he passed away, so yo, rest in peace. But all the other stuff was not good at all. Thor was horrible, disgustingly horrible. Doctor Strange had some good elements to it, but again, it had so much that you had to know from watching WandaVision. The story was wonky, the writing was all over the place. It was weird. She-Hulk, I don't care. I stopped watching after 3 episodes. Moon Knight, I don't care. Daredevil, where is he? Marvel got to step their game up. So I hope, with the introduction of the Fantastic Four and the X-Men, things start to look up. I do understand that they exhausted a lot of their core characters and they don't have the rights to a lot of these other characters. Spider-Man is partially owned by Sony or fully owned by Sony and rented by Disney. I'm not 100% sure what the deal is there. The Hulk is partially owned by Universal, and all of these Fox properties that appeared in Deadpool and Wolverine now are being folded into the MCU. So to be honest, that's what I'm most hyped to see. I'm most hyped for the X-Men, and I'm cautiously optimistic for the Fantastic Four. I don't know how I feel about Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic. He's a good actor. Maybe he could pull it off, but he doesn't look like a Reed Richards to me. I also think it's a very questionable choice to have Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom. I don't know what's going on there. My thoughts on that are that it's another universe Doctor Doom, and they are going to have a Secret Wars event like Jonathan Hickman's 2015 Secret Wars in the comics, where Doom is some kind of god, Emperor Doom guy, who has saved a piece of a bunch of realities from these incursions, because they started talking about incursions in the Doctor Strange movie and Spider-Man No Way Home. So I really did feel they were leaning towards, the 2015 Secret Wars. So my thoughts being that this version of Doctor Doom is like an evil Iron Man, and all the heroes are going to have to work to defeat him. We're going to see him as Doctor Doom, and then he's going to take his mask off, and everyone's going to go, oh my god, it's Robert. Which honestly I think is a pretty cheap shot for Marvel. They're reaching at the bottom of the barrel right now. They're trying to get butts into seats, subscribers on Disney Plus. And me, to be honest, I'm not interested in anything that they're putting out right now. Again, it was even a stretch for me to go to the theater and watch Deadpool and Wolverine. I was gonna wait till it came out on digital. But I do gotta shout out X-Men 97, because that was sick. That is worth, a Disney Plus free trial at least. And it's like, I don't even know how it was possible for them to do that if they're delivering the live action content that they are. X-Men 97 was mature, it was action-packed, it did the characters justice, the acting was good, the writing was good, the animation was great. And I would just like to see that same level of maturity and storytelling translated into these live action adaptations. I think the fans deserve it, and I think the filmmakers deserve it. There were so many dope moments in X-Men 97, so many great Easter eggs. Rest in peace, Gambit. We could stay here and talk all day. If you want me to do a video on X-Men 97, let me know. I'll do one. But as far as Deadpool and Wolverine, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman go, I think that if they do go ahead with the Secret Wars idea, those two will come back to reprise their roles in Secret Wars, and then in that movie, we'll be closing the book on all these characters and rebooting the MCU so they could start with younger actors who can, kind of go along with the trajectory of the new MCU, because these guys, they're getting older now, and they've been playing these characters for close to 20 years. So after a while, it's all fiction and it's movies, but reality takes place. And I don't want Iron Man to be 80 years old. We got to keep it moving. We got to restart stuff, maybe do an Ultimate Universe and switch up the actors. Bring back these actors from the original MCU as cameos in Ultimate MCU, or, something along those lines. I don't know. But anyways, let me know your thoughts on the future of the MCU. What did you think of X-Men 97? And stay tuned, because I'm going to do a video for DC, the future of the DCU. I'm going to review Batman Caped Crusader. And I'm going to be doing a review on Lucasfilm, or probably just a video of me talking shit about Lucasfilm. So, much respect for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.